What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Billy Collins and joined once again with my good friend Mr. Matt Dodge. And guys, stop making excuses. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Guys, here we go.
Yep, that's me, Billy Collins, and this is my channel. A channel filled with interviews, motivation, entertainment, and perhaps a cocktail or two. Guys, this is The Collins Project.
Matt Dodge. How are you?
Present.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Billy Collins. Once again, like I said, joined with Mr. Matt Dodge. And guys, we're going to talk about why we make excuses. And why we need to stop making excuses. Matt, what's the definition for you on excuses?
The reason why I was late for something.
So you just make excuses?
Usually it's a bogus reason.
It's not real.
If we're honest with ourselves, nah, it's not real.
It's like,
you know what? Some people are like, man, Matt, you're creative. I'm thinking everyone's creative because wait till it comes time to come up with excuses. They can come up with some pretty amazing ones, me included.
Because excuses are, I don't want to hear excuses. I want to hear answers.
Right.
I want to hear solutions. Okay.
Do you hold yourself to that same standard?
I try, but God knows
I love hearing my own excuses.
I make some excuses. Like we were talking about earlier, like my shoulder's not feeling the best right now. It's not like I can lift heavy weights and stuff. And I told my trainer, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to kind of relax this week. And
I don't want to hurt my shoulder, not do legs.
And his response was, well, there's other exercises you can do.
Right.
Stop making excuses why you're being lazy. Yeah, and that's what it was. Like,
so
if I really
called you on it, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I have trainers.
Right.
Because it calls my BS.
Do you think that's part of the anecdote? Because it's easier to hold yourself to a different standard than someone else that's going to hear it and be like, "Come on, man."
Yeah.
How are you going to hurt your shoulder doing that?
And that's what I said in earlier videos. Surround yourself with people that are going to hold you accountable.
Iron sharpens iron.
Because look, Joe Rogan says he's the fittest, laziest guy in the world. He's like, I don't want to do it. He's like, I got to make myself do it.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got a team that tells him, hey, look, let's go.
Yeah.
So, but, man, I would make an excuse at the drop of a hat.
What's the most common excuses you've heard for, let's say, we talked about it when we were talking about getting in shape. The most common excuse is I just don't have time.
I think that's the number one.
Yeah.
Number two is...
I live around the busiest, most unproductive people in the world. For how busy they are,
they're so
not very productive.
Yeah.
Something's not right here.
And that, I call on that. We broke it down in the last video of the time frame throughout a day, and you have a ton of time and still have time to watch Netflix.
Yeah.
But I think the second, and especially in the gym, is I don't know what to do. Well, Jesus Christ, there's YouTube.
I think the machines have like numbers on them too. So.
Yeah. I mean, they tell you what to do, like what it hits.
Yeah.
So that's probably the second in the gym. Now, professionally, I think excuses are, I don't have enough money to start like a business. I don't have enough money to start my own business. That's why I'm starting the apparel, because I'm not putting a lot of money up front, because I want to, it's the progress of seeing if I can start something from ground zero, just very minimal. Make a shirt, sell a shirt, take that money, buy 2 more shirts, sell those 2 shirts, and let it snowball, trickle effect, or whatever you want to call it, into something. So that's the other excuse I hear is, I want to start my own business, but I just don't have the money for it.
They'll kind of talk themselves out.
Do you
think that's why we say excuses? 'Cause I'm not excluding myself on that. It's almost like, when people say, whatever helps you sleep at night, man. I think excuses are to make our pillow a little bit softer.
I think excuses are because you lack the confidence of doing something. I think you want to start a business. You want to go to the gym. You want to get married. You want to have kids, whatever the case may be. But in the back of your mind, it's like, I don't know if I can do it.
Right.
And I'm one that will my mindset's like I want to do something, I'm just going to go do it. I'm going to try it at least once.
What are some legitimate excuses?
Define.
Like when someone says it, you know, your shoulder's messed up and you're coming in, we work out together and say, all right, we're doing military press. That's a legitimate, that's a reason more so than it's an excuse.
Right. Like for example, if someone's coming to work and they're late. So, well, why are you late? Well, I mean, an 18-wheeler just smacked the front of my car. I understand that. those are the type of things.
What were you doing in front of that 18?
Why'd you get in front of the 18-wheeler?
Yeah.
You know,
well, when you boil it down, there's not many.
There's really not.
It's kind of our default because we never want to admit, yeah, I just didn't leave the house early enough. You know, so we'll make an excuse. Getting married and having a son, that is like my ultimate get out of jail card because now I can just say, sorry, my son is running a fever, and you know, because it's making me look heroic for taking care of him. And he's 2 now. He's not going to really be able to rebut it too much. So
he can't say, no, I didn't poop my pants, Daddy. What are you talking about?
I'm like, he's 2. Yes, he did.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean,
yeah. So I mean, there are some excuses that work, you know. But eventually, you're around someone that it's just all they have an excuse for everything. They've kind of pre-built it, and
it becomes their crutch.
Yeah, or their default. It's just like.
Yeah, it almost turns into them spinning it into their victim mentality too. Oh, I ate those Doritos last night because I was so upset because my daughter ate my spinach and I couldn't have it.
It's like reality, dude. You ate the Doritos because they're delicious. Like
yeah.
they taste amazing.
And own up to it.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, and like I said before, if I'm pointing one finger, I've got 3 pointing back at me. It's like because it's human nature to make excuses, but I think there comes a time where on the major things in life, you got to stop that shit. Stop making excuses.
That's what I was gonna say. When you if you prioritize being in good physical shape, then you're going to find a way to get to the gym, right? That's going to lead you to that priority.
Right.
If you don't prioritize something, you're going to find any way possible to wiggle out of it. And the best thing to probably do is just be upfront, like, Billy, I enjoy being around you, but I can't stand doing these videos. Instead of me just saying, hey, can't do it today, man. I've got an appointment.
Yeah.
Or, hey, just stringing you along. It's like
I'd rather
we're so
just
afraid
be
to be fine.
honest about it.
Yeah.
I find that with girls too. Like, if I don't want to hang out with somebody, I'm like, look, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not sitting there saying, oh,
it's not you, it's me.
Yeah, my dog needs to go to the vet.
Or I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to be vulnerable, or like just be upfront with people.
Yeah, I think it's easier, and at the end of the day, because I like I said, I've made all these excuses before. No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that because this happened or that happened. That's all BS. No, I mean none of that. It's just. But I'm finding the more you're kind of honest and up front with everything and really tell the truth about what's going on, so much easier.
Yeah.
I don't even care if they think I'm a dick.
Right.
You know, I don't want them to think that I'm that, but
it's not your intent, but
it's my intent. But then again, don't ask me not to lie to you, and then turn around if I tell you the truth, get mad because I didn't lie to you.
Yeah.
So,
common example is, honey, does this dress make me look fat? It's like, if they're asking you that, then they already know the answer, you know. But we're taught to kind
or
of
they're trying to seek validation, like.
Yeah, but at the same time, like if they're asking, they wouldn't ask that unless they thought, I look pretty fat in this, you know.
Well, that I see where you're coming from, but I've also seen girls that will fish for compliments.
Oh yeah.
For that too, it's like, oh, does this dress make me look fat? And you know you look hot, and it's just like, come on.
Right.
No, it doesn't make.
They'll
you
usually
look fat.
do that in a statement, like, "Gosh, this dress makes me look fat," versus, "Hey, I need your input. Does this make me look fat?" I mean, they're genuinely curious.
Now, and I'm not going to be the one to say, "Yeah, you look like a lard ass." I'll say
You're easier to see, is what I say.
Well, I would say, no, it's not my favorite thing.
Horizontal stripes, 9 months pregnant. You're
Not a
taking
good idea.
You're taking a risk. So just teach them.
You're
about
asking
shapes.
for it.
What but there are things, you have children. If your child was hurt somewhere, you would do whatever it took to get to them. Like there would be no excuses, because you're more focused maybe on the end goal. And I think, a lot of times we're just kind of, as Zig Ziglar calls us, wandering generalities. Just kind of whichever way the wind's blowing.
Yeah.
Versus when you're around successful people that are chasing something, they've set a goal that they're going to hold themselves accountable to do. There are no excuses. There might be speed bumps or detours, but I think that might be part of it. If we're really honest with ourselves, like things we've really accomplished, there was nothing that could get in the way.
Nothing was. If you like I said, if you're confident and if you're passionate, if you wanted to get something done, nothing will stop you, like you said. Like
if you give a shit about the outcome.
Yeah.
If you don't care one way or the other.
Yeah, I can see that too. It just drives me nuts. And I don't know if you have friends that always make excuses for why they do things. Do you find yourself kind of gravitating away from them?
For sure. If I invite you out, hey, come over, we're having dinner, or this, and every single time you have an excuse that might sound legitimate, it might be a legitimate excuse. What that just shows me is he's prioritizing something else, right? I don't want to hang out with someone that doesn't want to hang out with me.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we make excuses instead of just saying, I don't really want to go eat with your family and 2-year-old. Like that, or I don't really want to look at your baby pictures on your phone for hours.
Your baby's not really that cute.
Yeah.
It's so it's more like a defensive mechanism.
Yeah, it's a way to say you look fat in that dress without saying it.
Yeah.
And
there are ways, I think, to probably say it so you're not so brutal.
Yeah, but I was talking to someone recently, and he said something pretty profound. He's like, "Look, I would rather have have an uncomfortable conversation for 5 minutes than walk around on eggshells for 5 years."
Yeah.
Right. The moment you see it now, it's you don't need to just walk around and critique everything. But at the same time, and this happens in marriage, maybe you think, it's not that big of a deal, but it bothers the crap out of you. But you'll make excuses to yourself for either your spouse or your son or whatever.
Yeah.
He's a jerk, but it's because I haven't been holding him. No, he's being a jerk. Like, discipline.
That's true, because I find
Nip it in the bud.
I find that with especially my son, because he's 17, he knows everything. You can't tell him what to do because he's always right. And when I talk to other people, I'm like, well, it's his age. He's just going through a phase. No, he's being a dick.
Yeah, he's being 17.
Yeah, we've all done it, but you do find yourself making excuses for others, especially the ones that you really care about.
Yeah. What's John Mulaney? Have you heard of him, the comedian? Mm-hmm. He's really dry, real effeminate. But he has this bit on YouTube. Guys, look it up. It's hilarious. But it's called Canceling Plans is Like Heroin. And he just talks about all the ways we'll go through to cancel plans, like how it feels so great to cancel that plan, and the excuses you can get out of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of creativity involved. And the problem with taking excuses is we kind of train people how to treat us, right? If you said you're going to be here at 2 and you wind up at 2:15, and I'm like, oh, that's fine. Well, that's going to move. We're always testing how much we can, give a man an inch, he'll take a mile. You have to be honest with yourself about the excuses and then call other people out on that too. And if you lose that friendship, it's not really great friendship in the first place. If they don't respect your time.
Do you have like an exercise that helps with stop making excuses?
Probably the most helpful one is just stop doing crap I don't care about.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I really make excuses of. Like, use it almost like a barometer. If my gut instinct is to make an excuse why I can't go over there, then I just don't want to go over there. Like, who am I kidding? They know I don't want to come over there. They're not buying all the crap But in that same token, though,
I love making YouTube videos, but I took time off, and I was making excuses like I don't have content, I don't have anyone to film with, I don't have this, that, and that. And the bottom line, I was just didn't want to pull out the camera, didn't want to set up the lighting, I was just being lazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a couple things as far as separating yourself from stuff you don't like, and then doing stuff because I love making these videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love spending hours editing and stuff. It just clears my mind. And I know that it's almost like going to the gym. The hardest part about going to the gym is driving to the gym. It's not the actual workout, because the workout feels good. When it's done, you have a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, you feel better after than before.
Exactly.
And that's true.
It's that drive.
A lot of life is like that.
Yeah.
Because it left to me, I'm a homebody. I would just hang out at home, putter around in the yard. And I'm from a big family, so we always have these get-togethers. And sometimes I'm just like, I don't really want to go. But afterwards, I'll talk with Allison. I'll say, oh, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad I went. So kind of drawing back on those memories of stuff where you had fun before, and hey, it'll probably be fun. But if it's something, if you truly don't want to do something, just be upfront and honest about it. You'd rather do that, have an uncomfortable conversation for 5 minutes than walk on eggshells for 5 years or pretend like you like her friends for the rest of your life. It's just, you're only punishing yourself.
I think for me, the exercise that I start is to stop hitting the snooze button.
God, that is like heroin. Those extra 7 minutes of sleep.
It's like the best sleep ever. But I get up every morning at 5.
I've heard good things about 5 a.m.
I mean, doesn't matter if I'm working late or whatever. If I get home from working at the bar and it's 2 a.m., I'm going to get up at 5 because I don't want to. But there are some days where I will sleep.
Here come the excuses.
Actually, there's only been one day that I slept late.
Yeah.
And that was, I had worked a double, which is not an excuse.
But it's more habitual now. You probably wake up before the alarm even goes off.
Yeah, it's just like I pop up. I'm like, even though the days that I don't have anything to do, and I tell myself, maybe I'll just sleep in till 6. Damn, at 5 o'clock doesn't roll around. I'm just like, I'm up.
There are some like life hacks you can do. My mom used to always tell me about this. She said she had a nighttime self and a morning self. I think we all do. Like, our nighttime's probably more pleasant than right in the morning. And back when I was doing competitive like fitness stuff, you had to prepare your meals, right? That's the biggest reason why a lot of people don't want to do it, because you have to just cook all the time. Yeah. And I knew first thing in the morning, I would do 8 egg whites, 2 whole eggs, 1.5 cups of oatmeal, which takes 10 minutes to cook, but when you're first waking up, you just kind of want to chill. So what I started doing, I started cracking the eggs at night. I had the oatmeal already in the bowl with a cover on it, so all I had to do was put water in the oatmeal and just pour the eggs out. And it made it a lot easier to get up. I'll also do if I'm having trouble, because I went through a spell where I just couldn't discipline myself to go to bed early enough and wake up early enough. Like, you wake up and it's 8 o'clock and you're like, crap, I can't go to the gym. It's pushed back everything.
It feels like the day's ruined.
Yeah, so I tried this. I sat in bed and visualized myself waking up before the alarm clock went off. Like, this is how bad I'm like,
It was like visually making a game out of it.
I got to visualize seeing myself get up, walk out and go. Because for me, I take pre-workout. As long as I can get that pre-workout in me, I'm going to the gym.
Yeah.
So I just simplified it. Just get to that pre-workout, I'll go work out.
Yeah.
But that, believe it or not, actually helped. People ask, what's the best way to go to sleep earlier? I'm a night owl. The best way is to wake up earlier, because you're going to be sleepier. If you're waking up at 10, your mind's going to be wide awake at 10 p.m. You've only been up for 12 hours, So yeah, excuses are rampant. Some are valid, most are not. All right.
So, excuses on why we don't seek out, not everyone, because there's
God, dude, please don't start putting disclaimers. Nothing we
No
say
disclaimer.
is, nothing is true, universally true. Okay.
But I, myself, sometimes, well, not now, but in the past, have made excuses on why I wouldn't talk to a female. And why do you think we make those excuses?
Why some guys don't talk to women?
Yeah.
Fear of rejection. That's a big reason why we don't do a lot of stuff. So yeah, I think it's the she won't like me anyways, or she's out of my league, or those kinds of things. And then also just never done it before. It's terrifying. I could imagine when I got into sales. So when I got into sales, I likened it a lot to dating, which I didn't have like an issue with that, right? I wasn't afraid to talk to a girl, which doesn't mean I wasn't ever rejected. I mean, but you realize that's part of the game. Sales are very similar. And when I first got into sales, all that confidence I had that I thought I would do a translate, oh my God, it didn't. Like, I would have to pick up the phone and call a stranger and felt like I was bothering them and all this stuff. That phone would weigh like 25 pounds.
And it'd ring one time and nobody answered.
Yeah. It's like, hello? Wrong number. My bad. You don't want to buy this.
Prank call.
Yeah. So, but as I've gone through it, it's become easier and easier. And as I became more of an expert in whatever you're selling, you go from hawking crap to solving problems. So for talking to women or whatever, I'm confident in my ability to keep up a conversation. I've talked with women before and they've called me back, so clearly I'm doing something right. But I wasn't born with that, but I could see where that would be terrifying.
Yeah, luckily for me, coming out of the marriage, I had the privilege of having girls actually seek me out. I'm not trying to be arrogant. Look at this face.
Beggars can't be choosers.
But I actually had people hit me up, and that helped me because you come off 25 years with one person, close to 25 years with one person. You lose that whole. You're rusty as hell. The iron is not sharpened at all. You're just like,
should I do the laundry? Oh no.
Gosh. But with them seeking me out and, hey, you want to come over, make a drinks, whatever the case may be, it kind of like broke the ice and I got that little swag back.
And that's ideal. Every business would rather be, I think it's called inbound marketing, where they have people seeking them out. So how do you do that for dating? Well, for guys right now, if you're having trouble with girls, it's probably because they're not. Look in the mirror. Are you attractive? If you're attractive, one way to know if you're attractive, are you actually attracting anything? Right? Yeah. I can't just say this piece of metal is a magnet if it's not attracting. It's not
dragging it. Yeah.
So focus on, what does Rich Cooper say? Chase excellence, not women.
And I think because you just recently turned me on to Cooper, but I think that's kind of what I was doing.
You're at a much more valuable point in your life in terms of bringing in resources, your wisdom, knowledge. You still look good for 117, versus a 20-year-old dude that all he has to go off of is probably his looks.
Yeah.
Then they realize I don't have much to offer. So focus on being a high-value guy. And if you're listening now and you're 19, 20, 21, and not getting attention, the women are chasing all the alpha chads, and you're maybe a late bloomer or something, just realize, and this is to men, but men age like wine, right? Put in the work now, because I got a lot of attention because of my status, right? I was in the NFL, had a good look, so I was attractive that way. So I had all these things that were very attractive. So the reality is the time I spent working out, the time I spent practicing and getting drafted, that did a hell of a lot more for me for attracting women than reading a pickup artist book. Or, I mean, the reality is, guys, be honest with yourself what you have to offer. And if you have places where you can improve it, right?
And that's, I was going to say that if you're not sure what a high value man is, then you're probably not a high value man.
Yeah, go to bars or go to social settings and see guys who have attention from females, and just watch them. Like, watch how you'll start to notice trends. And when you're focused on your purpose, you're trying to put your own dent in the universe. You're not really there's not time really to pursue women, which is when that magnet flips, they start pursuing you, right? If you're coming off as needy, right? What do things do if you chase something, what is it normally going to do?
Run.
It's going to run away, right? So there's so many needy guys out there that I need you. And if you understand female nature, which is hypergamy, which is they want to date up, right? If they feel like you're going to get more out of it than they are, there's nothing more unattractive than that.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You'll get females, but you're going to get them, 3 kids with 3 baby daddies that are overweight, so if that's what you're attracting, like attracts like, typically.
Yeah.
So focus on being a high value guy, and in all honesty, kind of, as a saying, stop putting the P on the pedestal. I won't say the full word, but you've lived with a female for 24 years. You've kind of demystified females. They're no longer these magic creatures that, when we were young, they just...
a girl, majestic,
pretty girl, your heart would drop. You're like, why are my palms sweaty? But as you go along, you start to, there's a lot of men that are like, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. That's why marriage rates are at historic lows. They were actually doing studies. Remember when coronavirus came out? It was a blockbuster. When the coronavirus went viral, it was
when they did so many views on YouTube.
There was a lot of people that were having to stay inside, right? Stuff was shut down, and they were saying, hey, this is going to lead to a baby boom, right? They were going to call it the coronial generation. And the thought process was, hey, men and women are stuck in a house together.
What else they got to do?
They just bump uglies. That's what they're going to do. Well, actually, birth rates were down 10% from the year prior, right? So there's a lot of men that are kind of looking at how the game is played, and they're just like, it's rigged.
We're not going to play that.
Out. Yeah, it's like, if I know, if I believe some game is rigged, the refs are against my team, they're going to cheat the whole time, the other team plays dirty, and they got 10 players, we only have 5, I'm just not going to play that game, right? So I think a lot of guys feel that way. What's it called? MGTOW, men going their own way. And I completely get it, right? So just know, if you're going to stay single, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I'm classic right now.
It's a much simpler life, to be honest.
I don't have anyone tell me where to go, what to do. I don't work for anyone. I don't, it feels good. Am I going to rule it out? No. I might find that someone I might
fool me once,
enjoy, fool me twice.
But no, there's no such thing as a solution, only a trade-off. So when we're single, it's like we yearn for a relationship. We yearn for companionship, and I want to marry my best friend. And then when you get married, you're like, this isn't the greatest thing on the planet. I want to be single. So you're in kind of a perpetual state of wanting what you can't have. And the reality is, for most men, honestly, I wouldn't even think about use your 20s as a time to absolutely ball out. You know what I mean? Focus on yourself, build your value, because you're going to hit 30. There are, ladies, I know you're not going to want to hear this, but there are far more beautiful women than there are high value men.
Yeah.
If you're a high value guy, you're spoiled for choice. You have your pick of the litter. Ask women, they'll tell you the same thing.
And I think that's what I'm working on now. That's why I want to chase excellence and not women. Is because I am trying to become more of a higher, I think I'm a high value man, but I want to be more.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be financially
And that's
higher.
that's very attractive. That mindset's very attractive.
And I want to be like, that's why I hit the gym, and you know, that's why I do all the studies, and I create, and I want to add more.
Because it's showing
more
confidence.
value. Yeah.
It's showing confidence. That's why women
I want a Bugatti.
Women love guys that tease them. It's the weirdest thing, but they love guys who tease them because that shows a lot of confidence in you. If you're willing to tease them and risk them being offended and leaving, it's so attractive. There's so many guys, especially those raised by single moms, that have only been around women their whole life, and they put it on a pedestal, right? They just placate to the woman, roll out the red carpet, do all this stuff that society has told them that this is what women want, and they can't get any women. They're like, what on earth? And then you see the jerk or the guy he doesn't have time for her. He's just working all the time. This guy, it's like shooting fish in a barrel for him. Like, what on earth? It's so backwards.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of understanding how the female-male dynamic works. I think men and women complement each other. They're better together. But I think I would recommend everyone read a book called Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. It's a great book. He has another book, Positive Masculinity. And, you know, it really lays it out. This is stuff I kind of knew intrinsically. I always say I was kind of a blue-pilled alpha. You know, I still believed in the Disney movies, but in my head, it's like girls that I just date casually, I'm going to treat differently than the one.
Yeah.
Guys, there is no one. There's good ones and there's bad ones. There's the myth of the soulmate, right? And it's kind of when you first learn this stuff, it's depressing, right? Because you think, oh, somewhere out there, there's the one.
Someone's my soulmate.
And there's been people that have been praying for that one, law of attraction, the one. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, and I'm living proof because I thought I found my soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, granted, the actions that I have done in the past were the ones that created that separation. Now, that's why I want to chase excellence and not women. It's because I am trying to become more of a higher, I think I'm a high value man, but I want to be more.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be financially higher.
That's very attractive. That mindset's very attractive.
And I want to be like, that's why I hit the gym, and you know, that's why I do all the studies, and I create, and I want to add more.
Because it's showing confidence.
More value. Yeah.
It's showing confidence. That's why women
want a Bugatti.
Women love guys that tease them. It's the weirdest thing, but they love guys who tease them because that shows a lot of confidence in you. If you're willing to tease them and risk them being offended and leaving, it's so attractive. There's so many guys, especially those raised by single moms, that have only been around women their whole life, and they put it on a pedestal, right? They just placate to the woman, roll out the red carpet, do all this stuff that society has told them that this is what women want, and they can't get any women. They're like, what on earth? And then you see the jerk or the guy he doesn't have time for her. He's just working all the time. This guy, it's like shooting fish in a barrel for him. Like, what on earth? It's so backwards.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of understanding how the female-male dynamic works. I think men and women complement each other. They're better together. But I think I would recommend everyone read a book called Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. It's a great book. He has another book, Positive Masculinity. And, you know, it really lays it out. This is stuff I kind of knew intrinsically. I always say I was kind of a blue-pilled alpha. You know, I still believed in the Disney movies, but in my head, it's like girls that I just date casually, I'm going to treat differently than the one.
Yeah.
Guys, there is no one. There's good ones and there's bad ones. There's the myth of the soulmate, right? And it's kind of when you first learn this stuff, it's depressing, right? Because you think, oh, somewhere out there, there's the one.
Someone's my soulmate.
And there's been people that have been praying for that one, law of attraction, the one. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, and I'm living proof because I thought I found my soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, granted, the actions that I have done in the past were the ones that created that separation and stuff. But
men want to be
out it's not.
Men want to be loved like, there's a reason dogs are considered man's best friend. They love that. What do single women that are up in, what do they call them? Cat ladies, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen how a cat treats you?
Yeah.
It's aloof. It like gets annoyed when you pet it, and women love it, right? Because it's not giving validation to the woman. We're puppy dogs. We want women to love us like a puppy.
Yeah. Oh, look how cute though. You know.
Yeah, like all up in their face. They don't want that, right? So just watch how cats interact with women. Translate that to yourself. Cats, literally, they come around when it's time to eat, and then they're off. Like, my parents traveled somewhere. They got a cat for 3 days. They had to figure out what to do with our dog Skipper, but the cat, they're like, oh, he'll be fine. Like, he'll go kill some mice.
And that's the thing. Like I was reading this one time where the difference between dogs and cats. A dog, if you die in a house, a dog will lay with you and pretty much die with you. A cat will eat your ass and survive.
Lock the door.
They survive.
Yeah,
But.
yeah, and it's. I forget who I was listening to that said that. I'm like, my God, that is so true. But it's bad. What stinks is you might naturally be a nurturer, right? So I'm not saying just be a huge jerk, but if you are just, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, I love it. It sounds needy.
Yeah,
it
it's very
sounds like
desperate. And I've been there, done that.
It's not. Yeah, it's tough. But
Yes.
yeah, that would be understand male-female dynamics.
So basically, understand that you need to, for guys out there and females, you can be a high-value female, high-value man.
Impossible.
Impossible. Is to work on you, work on your skills, work on your values of being a better person, and for God's sakes, stop making excuses.
Right, and do not ask your mother, what do women want? Or do not ask another female what women want. If you want to learn how to catch fish, don't ask a fish, ask a fisherman.
Exactly. Guys, thank you for checking out the channel. Give us a big thumbs up if you like this video. If you don't like the video, give us a thumbs up anyway. Look at that. Look at that. That's high value. He's only done legs this week.
Medium, never skip arm
Mediums.
day.
Never. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching the video. We love you.